Hi, I'm Kiri, and today's video is all about getting your self-assessment in on time because today is Saturday the 25th of Jan and the deadline is the 31st. So we've only got about 6 days left. So if you haven't started your self-assessment already, make sure you listen to this video because I'm going to be telling you all the tips in how to get your self-assessment in, your tax return in, how to pay the least amount of tax possible, and how to get it in on time. So keep watching this video to find out all my tips. So first of all, it is really important to start preparing your self-assessment as soon as you possibly can. So preferably, I would advise, I know it's too late now, but to start before Christmas and maybe even start in the summer and just start all year round, putting your documents to one side and keeping a record of everything as you go along through the year. But if you haven't, don't worry, there is still time. The reason why I say leave a lot of time before the deadline is because you need things like government gateway login, you need your UTR, which is your unique tax reference. So if you've misplaced any of those things and you need to send off for them or have a hunt around for them, you don't want to be leaving it until the 30th or the 31st because you might not get those documents back in on time. So if you start now, you might be able to send it off and you'll get that login back in time before next Friday. So there is still time. So start tonight. I know it's a Saturday, but if you haven't started, start tonight. So that is the first thing. Second of all, get all your documents prepared and located. So if you've got invoices sort of put in various drawers, if you've got receipts all over the place, maybe start collating them. And for next year, collate them into one folder. So maybe have an invoices pack and a receipts pack. And then you've got all your evidence there, because sometimes, although with self-assessment, HMRC don't necessarily ask for evidence on a yearly basis, they may do randomly on occasions with certain people. So it's always good to have your evidence there so then you can just pass it to them if they ever ask for it. I would always try and have a separate account for a business, for even self-assessment. I've got a limited company so that you have to have a business account for that, but I've also got a self-assessment account as well, because I do some things self-assessment. And personally, actually, I've got just a personal account, but for me, I don't do a lot of self-assessment, so I can identify things. But if your whole business is self-assessment, make sure you've got a separate account, because then you can just go through your bank statements through the year and decide, well, if it's a separate account, they should all be business expenses and all business sales and income. So that should be there. If you're like me and just use your personal account for some self-assessments, you can transfer your statements onto like an Excel or into a table, which you can convert to Excel. And then what I do is I delete all the irrelevant income and expenses. So then I'm just left with my business income and business expenses that are linked to my self-assessment. So I've got them all in one Excel and I don't have to manually fill it out into a new Excel spreadsheet looking through paper bank statements, which is what I used to do when we just had paper bank statements, like say 10, 15 years ago. Now it's much easier because it's all online. So transfer your business bank account statements into an Excel and then you've got a record, and save it again, just in case they do ask for that evidence further down the line. Save it, income, what are we, 23, 20, no, 24, 25, whatever no, 23, 24, that's what we're doing at the moment, aren't we? April 23 to April 24, and we're submitting it now. So yeah, so make sure you save that as a file just in case we are asked for it. And yeah, talking about expenses, make sure you write everything down that is a business expense. Don't forget anything. Your laptop, uniform, insurance, lots of things, stationery, home office, if you work from home, some of your utility bills can be put towards it. Have a look up and see what you're allowed to use. Your phone bill, if you have an accountant, they can advise you on this, but if you are doing it yourself, hence why you might be watching this video, make sure you put down as many expenses as possible that are relevant. Some things you might be paying for by cash, make sure you write those down as well. You might have income that's cash, make sure you write everything down and record it. Most importantly, get this in on time. So start tonight, Saturday night, no partying tonight. Get your tax return started at least, and then submit it before next Friday, the 31st of January. And you will incur no fine whatsoever. Fines can start from £100 or more, so we don't want that, do we? So get your tax return in, get your self-assessment filed. Let me know how you get on, and if you do have any questions as well, you can ask me, Kiri. Any business tips, ask away. Hope it was helpful, and I'll be back again for another one very soon. See ya!